welcome back to Higher Presence. We have a great show going today. This is the third section, and if you haven't seen the other two parts, you want to make sure you get them on YouTube at our channel called Higher Presence out there on YouTube.com. But today's guest is Deanna Frazier, and Deanna is a life coach. She's an executive life coach that's literally helped companies make millions. But she's also a master at what I call the transition, or most people that are unemployed or seeking employment, they're in a transition in their life. And so with that, I want to go into, since you've talked about it, but I want to go into, how do you establish a life plan? You said that's important. How do we do that, Deanna?
You have to understand, Pat, that we are not just one facet. We have careers, we have relationships, we have things that we do for social life, what we do for to keep in balance. We have a whole bunch of things that we do to make us whole people, and all of them have to fit so that we can create a life that works according to our values. Because if we're off on any one of those, we're not 100% in sync with who we want to be. So a life plan includes all of those different areas. So now I have a career. Now maybe my relationships aren't working, so I have to get that relationship right, or get another one that might be right. I mean, things have to change constantly so that we're complete. And it doesn't happen overnight, quite frankly, depending on what's going on with some people. I mean, I'm working with a couple of clients now that their career is really moving forward. It's just a question now, what's the next level? They're employed, what's the next level? Where do I go? But there's some things at home, and there's things that are off kilter in other places of their life, physically, in other ways, that we're working on, so that when that move is made, they're ready for it. Because I do a thing called "What Are You Tolerating?" and a list of tolerations, and it's amazing the little things that people have that annoy them that they ignore until it's built up like a swarm of mosquitoes. You know, one or two things out of kilter are not a big deal, but a swarm of mosquitoes can cause a lot of damage. So we look at all of the things that may not be absolutely perfect in one's life and work on it. So that's the life plan.
Does it have different components? I mean, one of the things you said earlier, and I know if you're listening to this is key, is that it's not about finding the right position. It's about becoming the right person.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you put together a life plan, are there different facets? You said physical, financial, relationship. What are all the components to the life plan?
So it's about the career. It's about your relationship. It's about your finances. It's about your social life. It's about your recreational life. What do you do for fun? It's about your physical well-being. So it's all of those, spiritual well-being. It's everything that makes up the individual, who they are.
So it's kind of like the circle of life.
Mm-hmm.
Not Lion King. It's that aspect of making it roll so that the way I've heard it described, and you tell me if I'm wrong,
Mm-hmm.
is that think of your life as having all this physical, financial, spiritual, mental, what you eat, whatever, your time, how much sleep,
Mm-hmm.
as a wheel.
Right.
Connect the outside as wheel, and then each of these are just spokes, right?
Right.
Well, for a lot of us, that if you were to measure it, you would connect these dots going around there, and it would look like a very broken wheel, because one or two of the spokes are completely busted.
Right.
And at that level, that's where your stress is. Is that?
Yeah, yes, and also self-care is very important. What I have found that when people are under stress, the first thing that stops is their own self-care. They eat badly, they're not sleeping right, they're not working out, they're not doing things that they would do ordinarily, and those things create stress. So you have this cycle. It's almost like a squirrel cage. They'll drink more, they'll smoke more, they'll do things that don't serve them at all because they're under stress. All of that causes more stress. So
Right.
It's just kind of a continuous cycle. So something has to stop. And it's usually the self-care has to get improved, and the behaviors that aren't serving us have to change so the stress gets diminished. So you can see the forest for the trees. You can see the difference between the job that I think I need and the job that I really want.
How does somebody go through and rate these different aspects? Do you use numerical values, pluses and minuses? What are some of the keys to establishing the areas of stress? Or is it just we know?
Yeah. So how you doing today?
That's right.
I mean,
So how you doing? How you doing? I'm doing okay.
It doesn't take a big metric. Okay, so no. Okay, I get it. That's not working. Let's work on
Okay.
that.
That's really good. I mean, I'm an Aggie and I need it that simple, you know?
One of the things that coaches learn to do, especially the kind of coaching I do, is listening. I hear things that aren't said, quite frankly, and that actually scares me sometimes, because when I went into coaching in '99, I was a talker, a teller, a seller, a speaker, a trainer, and all of a sudden I had to stop talking. I will tell you very quickly, I hired a coach, and the first thing she said to me is, okay, you find a spot that's comfortable at home, and you put up a sign that says, shut up. So that's the clue. You have to listen, and when you listen, you don't have to, you hear.
Yeah. Well, I know that as we come to this next section, it'll be our last section today. And Deanna, thank you. This has been really great. If you're in transition, you know that what she's saying is true. Develop a life plan. Look at where you hurt. Begin to work on that, one thing at a time. It'll make all the difference. This is Higher Presence. We'll be right back for the last section here. Talk to you.
The Weight Loss Surgery Channel is the world's first online television network devoted exclusively to the weight loss surgery community. Find the information, support, and guidance that can keep you on the road to success. The Weight Loss Surgery Channel, here for you on the web 24 hours a day, every day. Visit us at weightlosssurgerychannel.com.